This is J. Krishnamurti's 7th public discussion in Saanen, 1972.
As this is the last discussion or dialogue, what shall we talk over together this morning? Could we go on what we were discussing yesterday about order? What is the understanding of order? What is a religious life, and is it possible in modern times to live it? How can I ask the right question when I've got rather confused mind? Is that it? But we do ask questions, don't we? Though we have confused minds and rather disturbed minds, we ask questions. And the gentleman asks, what is the right question to ask when one is confused? Right, sir? Bene, avanti, signore.
L'amore è senza oggetto e senza continuità. Io vorrei che discutessimo questa straordinaria affermazione.
You have affirmed that love is without object and without a continuity. What is the statement that is being made? That love is without object and has no continuity.
L'abbiamo sentito da lei.
Abbiamo sentito da lei. I mean, I heard this, we have heard this from you. Perhaps we can answer all these questions if we go into the problem of time. Would you like to go into that? Does that interest you? Because that will include how to understand order, and perhaps we can then find out for ourselves if there is such thing as love without our object and without time. Because continuity without, love without continuity means love without time, right? Bene? Bene. Are you interested in this? See, we've always been brought up in the prolongation of time, using time, which is measure, as a means of achievement, both outwardly, physiologically, as well as psychologically. I see 2 or 3 people are yawning. I hope you had a nice night. You know, it is really a very important question, this, because if we could understand it really deeply, then perhaps we'll solve this question of love, order, and what it means to live neither in the past nor in the future. So I think it is important to go into this question. We use time as measure. Both outwardly and inwardly. We use time as measure, as going from here to there. That is, covering the distance needs time, physically. And we also think, or being educated in our culture, we think that psychologically, inwardly, inside the skin as it were, we need time to understand. We need time to conquer. We need time to break down our bondages. We need time to understand sorrow. So we use time as a measure, both outwardly and inwardly, right? With this dialogue, please, I am not talking by myself, which I can do in my room. We are discussing, trying to take the journey together. I need time to go from here to Geneva. I need time if my body is rather unwilling, the muscles are rather hard. I need time to make them supple. It will take a week. That is, the week is a measurement of time which is necessary to make the body a little more supple. Is it a fact that takes place in time? The fact that one's muscles are rather unyielding, it takes time to make them more supple. There needs to be time. The fact is the muscles are rather hard, not supple, and to make them so, you need a week. The week is the measure. The week is time, right? From here, or to learn a language, there needs to be time, 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months. So to cover from a certain point to another point needs time, which is measure. Now we apply the same measurement inwardly. I need time to get over a habit. I need time to stop smoking. I need time to conquer my anger. I need time in order to achieve a certain psychological result. I need time to find enlightenment. I need time to get over my sorrow. So outwardly we apply the measure of time, and inwardly we do the same, psychologically. gradualness is accepted as a fact. Right? To put a machinery together, it must be done gradually. I can't all of a sudden put it together. Time is necessary as a gradual process in order to learn a language. Now I ask myself, and I suppose you must have, whether time as measurement exists at all, and is there psychological evolution at all? Evolution being time. Right? Are you? The brain has evolved through centuries upon centuries to come to this unfortunate point. And it has evolved under great pressure, great uncertainty, calamities, pain, suffering. And it has achieved a certain result. It has evolved. And to have evolved up to this point, you need time, right? To learn a technology, one needs time. So now we are asking, time is necessary at all for psychological understanding, for being free of a habit. Habit being the conditioning. You're following what? The brain is conditioned in the culture it has grown. Religiously, psychologically, socially, economically, family, and so on. That conditioning, does it need time to break it down, to go beyond it?
The understanding itself, or the insight, when it comes, is not in time.
Is insight time? Does it in perception need time? Or is it not? Is time is not necessary for perception? That's what the question is.
Well, that wasn't a question. I was saying the insight itself is instant, but there's a lot of work connected with it indirectly.
Insight is instant, but to carry it out needs time.
No, not to carry it out. But
To
I don't know, but
to work it out. Look, sir, I'll make it very simple. I have an insight that I shouldn't smoke. But it takes some time for the body to adjust itself because it has been drugged narcotically for many years, and it takes time to get over it. Is that what you're saying?
I understood this. The insight is instantly, but to come to the insight, that was, I think, what you wanted to insight is instantaneous, but to come to that insight needs time. Let's put it that way, he says. I am lazy. One is lazy. And laziness prevents insight, obviously, right? But being lazy, to dissipate that laziness, needs time, right? To approach insight
The approach needs time. That's what I understood from his question. So let us go slowly into this, because we can ask all kinds of questions a little later. But let's get the simple fact. I need time to learn a language. And I'm asking myself, as we are asking ourselves, whether time is necessary to bring about a radical revolution psychologically. Right? What do you think? Let's begin. The brain has been conditioned in the culture in which it has grown. Does that conditioning, the freedom of that conditioning, does it require time? Time being conditioned, it will take some time, days, years, months, to be free of that conditioning. Right? Now I'm asking, does it take time? Whatever takes place in time must be more conditioning. Look, sir, let's begin much simpler. One smokes, there is the habit of smoking. The abandonment of smoking, the giving it up, does it take time? I don't know, I don't smoke, but tell me. You say no. Why do you say no? Because you did it. What is implied in that? The body has been accustomed, has acquired a habit of nicotine. And the body demands it. Though intellectually you may have decided to give up smoking, the body, being accustomed or used to nicotine, demands it. So there is the bodily demand and the decision to give up smoking. Right? So there is a conflict, isn't there? Right? And to overcome this conflict, you say, I need time. Are we meeting each other? Please, let's get going, not let's stop at nicotine. And is there a way of giving up totally smoking without this conflict? Conflict implies time, doesn't it? The body, being used to nicotine, demands it. But the mind has said how stupid, how dangerous it is to smoke, it'll affect my heart, says, I won't do it. So the decision and the fact. The fact being the body is used to nicotine. So there is conflict. And to overcome that conflict, you need time. So you say, I will gradually get over it. Right? Now I'm asking myself, is there a way of dropping the habit totally without conflict, in which the body has accepted the fact. I wonder if you're meeting this.
It seems to me that just as the body requires a week for its muscles.
Wait, first, I know this, sir. We know this. I'm trying, inquire into it. Don't assert anything. My body has used to nicotine, and the mind has said, no, I won't do it. The body says, I must have more of it. Now, can the body be so intelligent that it sees the danger of it and drops it, doesn't demand it? I wonder if you're meeting all this.
Questo fatto che lei dice di smettere di fumare improvvisamente è successo a me 9 anni fa. Prima usavo la volontà e la gradualità e non riuscivo a niente. Poi improvvisamente nel 1963 di colpo ho smesso di fumare. Devo considerare che è una cosa casuale, perché io in quel momento non ci ho messo niente.
Bene.
Ma ciò che è istantaneo, è casuale, è dovuto al caso.
Bene.
Questo vi voglio domandare.
9 years ago, I used to smoke. I had this battle between the body and decision. And improvvisamente, suddenly, I dropped it.
Is it casually?
Yes, sir. Is it casual, or there was a instant cooperation of the body with the perception? We can't, sir, give little time, please. Time in the sense you are impatient, you want to get ahead. I want to go into it step by step.
Well, it seems to me that in giving up smoking, the conflict is not so much between the mind and the body as it is between, on the one hand, my decision, my intellectual decision to give up smoking because it's ruining my health, and the fact that I'm here and I'm using smoking as an escape.
Yes, sir, all that is implied, sir. I want to find out if the body can also see so intelligently as the mind does and give it up without the least friction. Huh? You've understood my question? How is this to be done? Take any habit, doesn't matter what habit. And there is the momentum of the body, the momentum of the mind that says, I must give it up, or I'm afraid to give it up because I'm escaping from a particular thing. So can the body and the mind together see the fact and drop it? Go on, sir, discuss it. I can't hear. There is the separation between mind and body. That's why there is this conflict. But the fact remains that nicotine has become a habit for the mind, for the body. Though the mind says, I will drop smoking. There is this conflict. Isn't it the I that makes the conflict? Oh, Lord, no. Don't reduce everything to such. Haven't you got habits? Huh? And haven't you noticed, to break a habit, it takes time? Huh? The decision, you are aware that you are a habit, and you know all the rest of it. It takes time, doesn't it? And I'm asking, why is there not a complete perception by the body as well as by the mind, so that it's finished?
It's no doubt true that there is some, the nicotine causes some physical effect, but I wonder how much effect it really causes. Is it perhaps possible that the mind blows up how much it causes?
Of course, sir, of course. So you're conditioned, aren't you, as a Catholic, as a Christian, aren't you all? No? No? All right, some are not, some are. Now, or you're conditioned in another way. Now, take your conditioning, if you are aware of it, and see whether that conditioning can be dropped instantly.
The ego is this big, yet it takes time to make it this big, so it drops this big, right? The ego is this big, it takes time to make it this big, so it can be dropped instantly.
But now, sir, please, don't speculate.
Sir, doesn't the word instinct imply time?
Oh, heavens. Look, everything conveying through words implies time. Instantly, maybe 2 seconds or a millionth of a second. But let's go beyond that word, sir, if you don't mind.
Well, then why do you stay with nicotine when you know that to give up nicotine, the body itself, through its own metabolic process, will not give it up instantly? Why not go beyond nicotine?
Why not take a harsh drug where the cells need it? Nicotine, we've seen people stop smoking with no bad effect. But with a harsh drug,
Hard drugs, that is heroin and all the rest of it, the hard drugs have affected the body, the cells. I wish we didn't enter into the nicotine and the hard drugs, but because that needs all time, right? I want to get at something much more deeply than that, sir. Does the freedom from conditioning take time?
May I say something that may throw light on it? Standing on a rock one day, there was lit sheet and moss emerging from the rock. And I been given to understand, as everybody else, that it had taken a million years, or a billion, or who's not how long. But it seemed to me that in that moment, the lit sheet and I existed together. Is there any reason in this?
I don't know, sir. I'm only concerned with one thing. I am conditioned, brought up in the culture in which I was born. That culture has conditioned me with its illusions, superstitions, with its myths, with its gods, with its economic and social status. And I want to find out if my mind can drop that conditioning without conflict, without time. I won't even use instantly, because then you will say instantly is 1/1,000,000th of a second. That's my concern, right? Because I see that is the most important thing in relationship. That's the most important thing in the world where human beings have to live, not to be conditioned. Right? Please, is this simple? Or can I go on? No. Will it take time? That is, will it take time to see that I am conditioned? And the next step is the decision to uncondition myself and the effort involved in the unconditioning, and so on. All that is a progression in time. Right? I want to say, I want to find out it can be done without time. Go on, sir. Don't say it is possible, it is not possible. Don't theorize about it. Find out for yourself you are conditioned. To find that out, does it take time? It will take time. If I tell you you are conditioned, please listen to this. If I tell you that you are conditioned, then you accept the fact that you are conditioned, or disagree or argue, and decide later that you are conditioned. You follow? All that implies time. But if you yourself see directly that you are conditioned, that doesn't take time. To see for yourself that you are hungry, it's a fact, you are hungry. But to be told that you are hungry, you say, am I really hungry? You begin to question. How do you know I am hungry? Does my face show it? My behavior? And so on. You take time. To be told that you are hungry and then say I am hungry takes time. But to see for yourself, to be aware for yourself that you are hungry needs no time. Right. That's one fact. Is that clear? Proceed, sir.
It doesn't take time to see one single factor of conditioning, but each moment of perception has to be linked by thought in order to see the totality of conditioning.
Sir, you've gone ahead of me. Monsieur François Lohan, come back where I am, which is, I said, to be told that you are conditioned and then be aware that you are conditioned takes time, right? But if you are to be aware of conditioning, it needs no time, right? Now, Now, what is it with you? The speaker has said you are conditioned, and therefore you realize you are conditioned. And that realization comes through time. Verbal message, arguing, disagreeing, but all that takes time. But to say, yes, I'm conditioned, that needs no time. Now, which is it with you? Go on, sir, move from there.
Ma la difficoltà è che anche in questa indagine io mi presento condizionato, perché mi sono sentito dire in questi discorsi che liberarsi da questo non richiede tempo. Quindi io ho già questa opinione. Non mi presento nuovo in questi casi.
Bene, bene, bene. I've already opinion formed because you have said for many years that one must be free of the conditioning and that there doesn't need time. So I have accepted that as an opinion. I don't know. So that opinion now I have formed, and to break down that opinion needs time. Bene? But if you are aware that you are conditioned, that needs no time. Look, sir, I say to you now, please listen very carefully. Give your attention for 2 seconds. I say to you now, you are conditioned. How do you receive those words? Do you see it instantly that you are conditioned? Or do you say, what do you mean by that? What's wrong with being conditioned? Conditioning has helped to hold people together. A myth, Jesus myth or any other myth, has held people together for centuries. Yes, sir, it is a historical fact. You follow? So I say to you, are you aware now as you listen that you are conditioned? Wait, 1 moment. Please take a minute. Are you aware? Right? That hasn't not taken time, has it? You see it. Right? Then go next step. Is that conditioning to be broken down bit by bit? You understand, sir? Layer after layer, fragmentarily, or is it to be broken down instantly? I mean, not instantly, without time.
When inside, one is liberated from conditioning.
So not if one, look, don't please, if one is, don't use the word if, when, those conditional clauses, then you will never do it. But please listen to what I'm saying. I say to you that you are conditioned. You see that fact, right? Without argument, without going all around it. See, yes, that is so. It's so obvious. Now, my next question is, do you break down that conditioning fragmentarily, or do you break down totally? Now just listen quietly. Our mind is used to breaking down bit by bit, right?
Vous nous mettez en face de ce problème. Il est certainement réel.
Yeah.
Mais le fait que vous soyez en train de nous mettre en face de ce problème n'est pas forcément adéquat en ce qui concerne notre nécessité intérieure, intrinsèque, quant à voir ce problème.
You put us in front of this problem. Our response to that problem is not adequate. I'm making your mind adequate to look at it. I'm helping you. So stick to one thing. My golly, what a...
gone.
Sir, don't complicate it, sir. I say to you, are you aware of your conditioning?
That's what he said. Also that you are conditioned.
No, sir, I've been through all that. I've been through all that. I'm asking you now, are you aware of your conditioning now? That's all, sir. Skip the words.
Is this what you mean by am I aware of my condition? Just let me ask now. And I came into this tent and you walked in and I looked at you and I was a certain hardness in my eyes and I said, I've been conditioned to be competitive. Now is that, and I saw that there was this hardness or competitive attitude. Now is that being aware of my condition?
Yes, sir, obviously. Now, you are aware of your conditioning as being competitive. Will it take time to be free of that conditioning, of that particular conditioning? Okay.
Sir, when you say free, do you mean never do it again?
I mean free means never again. See, please listen to it. When you see a poisonous snake, you are always careful, aren't you, after that? You are free to face danger and to know what to do, right? Now I'm asking if you are aware of your conditioning as being competitive. When you are aware of it, does it take time to be completely free of it? Go on, sir, help me.
La necessità è di essere consci di un particolare condizionamento e quel particolare condizionamento cade, oppure essere consci di uno stato totale di condizionamento. Perché io ho l'impressione di essere perfettamente conscio di un qualche condizionamento, ciò nonostante non cade.
Need I translate it? Yes? Somebody understands Italian and English, and why don't they translate it? I'll do it, sir. I'll do it. I want to go ahead. We are sticking at such small things. Well, all right, sir. What did you say?
I have to say in English first. I try to say in English.
No, dica in italiano, per favore.
Mi pare che lei abbia detto proprio poco fa che questo essere consci di un condizionamento si può riferire anche soltanto a un particolare condizionamento, il pizzo del fumo, questo, quello,
Sì.
non a
Totalmente.
essere consci di uno stato totale.
Bien.
Allora io le chiedo, anche in questo caso dell'essere veramente consci di uno stato particolare di condizionamento, lo fa cadere, oppure occorre essere consci dell'insieme?
It's terribly hot, isn't it? What Monsieur Ortolani is saying is, I'll put it very briefly, sir, correct me if I'm wrong, that if I am aware of one conditioning, a particular conditioning, does it mean that I comprehend the total conditioning through a particular conditioning? Will that make me aware of the total? Va bene, così. Via. So I am aware that I am competitive. And does that awareness free the mind from all competition hereafter? There is no competition in my nature at all. I'm taking that one thing for the moment. And the next question is, through a particular perception, will it reveal the whole structure of conditioning? I'll come back to that. That is, I'm aware that I am conditioned to be competitive. Will that awareness free the mind from all competitiveness? Or will it take time, you follow, to be free of that particular conditioning? Right? Just stick to that one question, sir, please. I am aware that I am competitive. And I say to myself, I know I'm competitive. I see the effects of it in the world. Logically, it is most destructive. It leads to ultimately to war, both economically, socially, and so on. I see intellectually, verbally, I see very clearly the structure and the nature of competition. And does that wipe away altogether competition from my nature? Wait, I'm asking you. Or do I need time to wipe it away? Right? Right, sir? Stick to that. Were you aware that you were competitive because you are told? No. Because you are competitive, you are aware. Then what is the next step? We're all competitive. It isn't only the gentleman. Everybody is competitive in some way or another. Wanting bigger, better, nobler. You follow? This whole momentum of competition, which is really measurement. What is the next step when you are aware of it? Does that awareness wipe away competition from you? Huh? Why not? That means you are not aware, as you are aware of a poisonous snake. When you see a poisonous snake, your body, your mind, your emotions all together move away, right? So you only perhaps saw, I'm not criticizing you, sir, many of us only saw intellectually that you are competitive.
The snake is outside, but competition is
Yes,
inside.
sir. Both outside and inside. I am competitive. One is competitive. Do you see it completely or do you see it partially?
Like the nicotine, if you can't feel it poisoning you, you can't stop.
What, sir?
It's like the nicotine, if you can't feel it poisoning you, then you can't stop. You can't feel
Like nicotine, it can't stop. It's poisoning you and you go on smoking.
No, you must feel the poisoning. You must not only think.
That's right, sir. Not you must. Do you? Don't preach to me.
Yes. I must. I do.
Do you, when you see competitiveness and realize that it is poisonous, drop it altogether? If you don't, why don't you? Is it that you see intellectually, verbally, that competitiveness is ugly? And you haven't related to your heart in the sense, feeling. You don't feel it. You verbally state it, but without any content behind those words. If there is a content behind those words, which is that you feel very strongly that competitiveness is destructive, you follow? If you see it, it is finished.
Sir, thought itself is competitive because it's measuring.
What, sir?
Thought itself
Oh,
is
I said that, sir. Yes, I understand that, sir. But not if, madam. So, wait, sir. Lady says either you see it, feel it, understand it totally, or you don't. Right? So it's much better to say, look, I haven't seen it. I don't feel it totally. It's only a fragmentary part of me that sees it. The rest of it is in darkness. The rest of it is not aware of the danger. Now why? But you are aware of the danger of a snake. You follow? You are aware of it because you have been conditioned to it, haven't you? Say, danger, a precipice, a bus, a poison is a frightful danger. And there is instinctive protection. Right? Now, you are not conditioned, please listen to this, to the danger of competition. If you are conditioned to the danger of competition, you would not touch it. Wait, look at it, sir. Consider it for the moment. Don't raise a question, go into it. You are conditioned to the snake. You are not conditioned to the poison of competition. So if you are conditioned to the poison of competition, you would react and say that's terrible. Right? Listen to it carefully. But we are talking about conditioning, not to competition or this or that. The fact of being conditioned. Do you see the difference? Oh, God. Huh? No? Do you see this difference, sir? Go slowly. I am conditioned to the snake. I am not conditioned to the poison of competition. If I were conditioned to the poison of competition, I would avoid it. I would run away from it. Right? Of course, it's obvious fact. So we act only according to our conditioning. Right? So, wait, sir, we act only according to our conditioning. But I am questioning all conditioning. There with the snake I see how the mind has been conditioned. Through centuries of experience, it has been said snakes are dangerous. And I said, my God, I must be careful, I mustn't go near it. Tiger or crocodile, whatever it is. But I am not being conditioned to the poison of competition. So I go on. Wait, sir, listen to it. I go on. So my mind depends for right action on conditioning. Right? You have understood? See the importance of that. My mind has been conditioned in a myth, Christian myth or Hindu myth, whatever it is, and that has held people together. All myths have held people together for some time. And that myth has conditioned me. And I act according to that myth. Communist myth or any other myth. So I realize my mind functions only happily when it is conditioned. No? Because then I am sure what to do. You understand? There is no uncertainty in it. Snake is a snake, dangerous. Competition is poisonous. You follow? To follow anybody is poisonous. So your mind constantly functions only and happily in the field of conditioning. Right? So I'm questioning the whole field, not whether it's useful or not useful. If you haven't got it, I can't go on after.
The poisoning of the snake is agreed upon, and you can get plenty of support for that. But to see the competition, you must see it for yourself, really. As one.
Yes, sir, but I'm not.
Seems I want to be competitive, therefore I will allow myself to be conditioned, because that will help me to be competitive.
Right, sir. Put it that way if you want to. Put it that way if you want to.
Okay, you can't see your condition. So I can't see my condition.
Don't you see your conditioning when you meet a snake? Have you ever met a snake? Except in the zoo? Then don't you react to it? So you are conditioned.
I can't see the total condition.
No, please, I said you are conditioned with regard to the snake. You are not conditioned. You are conditioned in a different way to competition. You accept it. That's your condition. So you function only according to your conditioning. Obviously, sir. If you are conditioned through reward and therefore behave, you are conditioned, aren't you? If you are conditioned through punishment to behave rightly, that's also conditioning. So I'm saying, look what happens. When you are conditioned, your mind is mechanical. And we're coming to that, sir. So your action is always based on your conditioning, pleasant or unpleasant, rewarding or not rewarding. That's a fact. And if one's life is based on conditioning, life becomes mechanical, right? I'm a Christian for the rest of my life. I'm a communist, or whatever it is. You follow? I don't want to think. I don't want to observe. I don't want to go beyond the little narrow field of my conditioning. And I say, in that lies sorrow. Right? So I say to myself, follow this. One conditioning I can understand. Two I can understand. But I want to understand the whole complex conditioning. Is that possible with one glance? Not take little by little, but at one glance see the poisonous nature of all conditioning. You've got it now?
Il me semble que cela doit être d'autant plus difficile de percevoir ce conditionnement total que
Attendez, I didn't say it was difficult. You are saying it is difficult. And no, moment you say it is difficult, you are blocking yourself.
mais je suis conscient du fait, comme nous l'avons remarqué précédemment, que nous projetons une image.
Je comprends.
Vous avez dit d'autre part que lorsqu'on veut aller loin, il faut commencer.
Oui. Écoutez un instant. Oubliez tout ce on vous a dit. I'm sorry. What?
You can see that you're conditioned, but you can't see that the conditioning is dangerous.
I'll show it to you. Isn't nationalism one's conditioning? Isn't it dangerous? Huh? Isn't the conditioning about some God, a belief in something, isn't that dangerous? Because you believe in something and I believe in something else. And we are at each other's throat. So it is dangerous, isn't it?
So could I have my own space so that I don't interfere with you?
Can't I have my own space so that I don't have to interfere with you? You have that space in tolerance. You tolerate me outside your little space. Isn't that dangerous?
You got to see that your pleasures are dangerous.
Huh?
You got to see that all of your pleasures are dangerous.
It is so. Because if you don't get your pleasure, you're annoyed, aren't you? You get angry, you get frustrated, you begin to hate. Depending on the denial and the strength of your pleasure. I don't ask that question yet, but sir, first see how your mind operates. It functions what it considers happily in conditioning, right? The snake, and you are conditioned to be competitive, and you say, let's be competitive. You are conditioned to be nationalistic, and you say, let's be nationalistic. Wave the flag and fight each other. These are facts which are dangerous, right? Do you see the danger of it? Not verbally, but actually as you see the danger of a snake. And you may not see it as the danger of snake because you are lazy. You don't want to see it. You have all kinds of objections and reasons for not seeing it. Now, to get rid of all those objections, formulations, and reasons takes time, right? You're meeting all this? So you would rather live, continue in the state in which you are. Condition, creating mischief, not facing danger, and ready to be killed.
Monsieur, pourquoi ne pas parler du conditionnement de se trouver ici et pour
Vous savez, he says, why don't you talk about the conditioning here? I'm doing that. You are conditioned, aren't you? as a Frenchman or as a whatever it is, you are conditioned. And the mind takes shelter behind this conditioning because that is safe, right? It is safe for me to call myself a Hindu, right? I feel protected. And in that conditioning, I accept and I live within that. But I don't see the danger of it.
Scusi, il Signore chiedeva che parlassimo del condizionamento che ci conduce qui, in questa tenda, ad ascoltarla. Grazie.
You are conditioned in this tent to listen to the speaker. Right? Are you conditioned to listen? Are you conditioned by the words of the speaker? Huh? Are you? Oh, no. We are free to come and go, the lady says. I'm not talking of that. Of course you're free. The tent is, nobody asks you to pay or whatever it is. Are you being conditioned by the words that the speaker uses? Are you being conditioned by the, not ideas, the idea? I'm not conveying ideas, I'm only conveying facts. And you turn it into ideas. Facts cannot condition you. What conditions you is the opinion about the fact. Right? That's
I know that's what you're saying, but sometimes when we focus on nationalism because it's something that we've all dealt with, thought about, or religion. But the real thing is the actual mechanical, whatever it is.
Yes, madam. Sir, the fact is that the mind functions in habits. Right? That's a fact. No? But you don't see what that fact does. Mechanical business, all the rest of it. Then if you see it, then you ask, how am I to get rid of it? So you are bringing an opinion or a desire to get rid of it. Whereas if you merely look at that fact without any motive, then that fact undergoes a radical change. You don't listen, I know. All right. Ave Maria.
I'm aware of the fact that to approve or disapprove of what a child does is conditioning. If I don't do one or the other, the children might beat each other up. Could you please speak about raising children?
Oh, could you talk about raising children, please? You know, that's one of the things we could talk about, which means really, are the parents educated? Educated in the deep sense of that word, not passing some exams, getting a job and all that. I mean educated. And the parents are not educated, therefore the children are not educated. So the problem arises, how to educate the parents, right? Right, sir? You're a teacher. And how do you educate the parents? They don't want to be educated because they're completely satisfied with their jobs, with their little house, with their gossip, and with their all the rest of it. So, what is important is the few of us here in this tent listen to all this. Not to the words, but to what is behind the word. And to see whether the mind can comprehend or be aware of the total conditioning. Not one should be free of it, one should go beyond it or break it up, but to be aware of the totality of this conditioning, which means mechanical habits, mechanical activities, slogans, and all the things that follow. Of course, sir. Of course. Bene. That's quite right, sir. Now, we better stop on this last discussion. What have you, as a human being, after listening to the 7 discussions and 7 talks, what have you learned? Please just find out. Just take 2 minutes and find out what have you learned during these 14 talks and discussions. What have you learned? Not verbal conclusions, not ideas which you have picked up, but what have you actually learned from it, which is yours. What's that?
Be watchful.
Is that all what you have learned? What have you learned so that your life is different? No, don't please tell me. Don't tell me what you have learned. I'm asking, during these 14 talks and discussions, has your life changed? Is there psychological revolution which will affect your outward activity? Or you have gathered few ideas, and I am not conveyor of ideas. I am not providing you with intellectual words and statements. We're only concerned with facts. And during these 14 days and 14 discussions and talks, has your life changed deeply? If not, why have you spent your time here? Just for amusement, curiosity? You follow? So you have to face now for yourself, find out if your life has radically, deeply changed. Or you're still playing with ideas. And if you are playing with ideas, you have wasted your time. Your time, your money, your energy. And that is not the reason why we gather here every year. Why we gather, as far as the speaker is concerned, is to bring about a different generation who see things directly and act directly. Not see and act. The interval between seeing and acting. And during that interval, all the mess arises. So, can you, when you go home or when you walk this afternoon, find out for yourself how deeply your life is changed or not changed? When the house is burning, there is no time to discuss about the man who set it on fire, the color of his face, whether it's long hair or short hair. You put it out, and your house is burning. So it's up to you